Well, Jeff, welcome to the Engearment.com podcast. It's a pleasure to meet you and work with you on this conversation. You've been recommended to me so many times by so many StrongFirst instructors and friends and mutual friends. And I follow your Instagram page and your YouTube and your website. You have a lot of great resources, man. So thank you for your time and thank you for being here.
Hey, I'm honored, humbled that I'm recommended by some fellow strong folks. So that obviously is a very much a positive.
It is, and I think it's very well deserved too. So you are located out in, is it the Seattle area?
Yeah, Seattle. I'm basically kind of South Seattle a little bit on a little neighborhood called Beacon Hill. It's a real nice location, just enough far out of the city, but I'm probably 7 minutes away from the stadiums and whatnot on the south end of the city. So pretty quiet neighborhood, not surrounded by the skyscrapers. I still live in a neighborhood that's got some culture and whatnot. So yeah,
Excellent.
it's a good place for me. I'm not a Seattle type of guy. I grew up in a logging town. So for me to be in Seattle it's been a challenge over these last few years, but being in a neighborhood like this makes it a little easier to cope.
I bet. You know, I've been to Seattle a few times for some splitboard festivals up there in Glacier, Washington at the Baker.
Nice.
So pretty.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Have you been up there before to Glacier or Baker?
Yeah, my parents actually, when I was a junior in high school, so that would have been around 1989, they moved to Mount Vernon, which is 60 miles north of Seattle. So that's kind of more approaching the Mount Baker area. So yes, been up in the Mount Baker, a little snowboarding back in the day and whatnot.
Oh, how cool. Yeah, you can probably see some snowboards back in the corner here. Some splitboards, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy snowboarding, sir. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Craig Kelly. You ever heard of Craig Kelly, Burton?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. He went to my high school, Mount Vernon.
So, get out.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah. And then Dan Donnelly, like a good early day Sims rider. So a lot of those early knuckle draggers came out of the good old Skagit Valley.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. And prior to our conversation, you know, Never Summer Snowboard Company, they're here. Yeah. I was working with Vince Sanders and the owners of that company to do a campaign. And out there you have LibTech, which is a great snowboard company.
Yeah.
Snowboarding. It's like my favorite thing outside of kettlebells and vodka and dogs.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something I got to get back into. I lived in Utah for 5 years for a stretch. And
Wow.
So I was constantly snowboarding. And then when I got back here to Seattle, kind of changed the game a little bit. It's more of from Seattle, you have to plan your day to get out snowboarding. Salt Lake City, it's like, hey, call in sick this morning because there's a fresh snow, and be up on a lift, in 30 minutes from my house and ready to roll. So the convenience and the snow was better in Utah, right? I must admit.
Yes, well, see, that's a very important topic. So we have a continental snowpack here in Colorado and in Utah. Then you get intercontinental, and then you have maritime, which is really moist, really heavy, and it's really pretty. I mean, your snow depth is like 3 times our depth, and you get to do more steep aspects. Where in our backcountry, we have to take it real conservative because the avalanche danger is much higher.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
But it just makes you appreciate
a
different approach. Exactly. Wow. My favorite view up there is Mount Shuksan. That's
beautiful.
Gosh, it's huge. Like the relief on it makes it look like Everest, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got some rugged hills around here for sure.
Yeah, understated. Rugged hills. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's so being a fitness professional, I'm very curious about how you and your gym and your colleagues and your students have adapted to what we're all facing in every industry. This COVID-19, it came on strong, it came on fast, and it made a lot of us adapt real quick. And real quick. Yeah, exactly. You already have a very strong online presence. You have online training and videos, and you got a good infrastructure in place. So was the transition for you challenging, or was it natural?
For me personally, well, let's just start with what's happening at the Fuel House. Forget about me for a sec. At the Fuel House, times like this, you need a good leader, period. Right? I mean, and the owner of the Fuel House, Molly Keelan, is that leader. Right when this stuff started to first happen, I mean, she was on it, like completely on it. She's in a bunch of business groups with other coaches, around the nation that were dealing with this kind of at the same time, and fellow leaders. And right away, she set up a Zoom account and a True Coach account. I mean, like right now, So that was huge. Just being on top of it right away. So we just, without missing a beat, we set up in one of our back rooms, set up the Zoom and a Facebook Live. So we have one camera that's shooting to people on Zoom, and we have another one that's on Facebook Live to a group of just our members on a private group, right? So our members are able to jump in there, and we're just doing couple morning, a couple afternoon, a couple evening workouts where us coaches are going into the room, social distancing, all the shit, and just leading live workouts, and it just took off right away. I mean, so we loaned equipment out. Molly, right away when this happened, she's like, "All right, guys, get in here. You guys can have one kettlebell each. Grab a barbell, grab some plates, grab some bands." So we kind of set up our people to be able to train at home like right away. And so yeah, it's been kind of an easy transition, man. And it's the feedback that we're getting is huge, and it's turned into other things. Like last Friday, we had a Fuel House social hour. We all got on Zoom. People brought their favorite beverage. And, you know, everybody goes on mute, and then there's like a question, everybody goes around the room, and you know, you train with these people on the daily, you get to know them a bit, but you know, during this little Zoom meeting, it was like, "Okay, Sally, what do you do? Where are you from? What's your story?" You know what I mean? So through this, yes, we've not face-to-face connection, but we've developed a deeper connection just out of necessity, getting to know each other a little bit better from a distance. So that's been absolutely incredible. And for me personally, this has forced me to do something that I should have been doing a long time ago. As you say, you know, I have a social media presence or whatever, which has never been something I've tried to do. You know, I don't pay for followers. I don't do any of that bullshit. I just share what's happening on any given day, and somehow a bunch of people started following my Instagram page. I don't fucking know how that happened. But I've gotten a lot of people reach out over the years, like, "Hey man, I'd love to train with you, but I'm in Germany. You know, what do you have to offer?" But I've never had a system in place to make that smooth. And when this happened, via Molly pushing and everybody really getting after it, you know, I got a True Coach account, and you know, I've already got 3 True Coach clients that I'm training remotely. So it's really forced me to get into that realm of where I should have been a long time ago. I've been beating around the bush way too long, and this just made me have to jump in the game, figure it out, and so I'm still figuring it out, but I'm running with it.
I love to hear that, and I'm with you so much. Like you, I have social media accounts, and I don't have the traffic you do, but like you, I put up something I think is interesting, probably with my dogs, probably a kettlebell, probably drunk in the mountains somewhere. People dig it, you know? It's just real life. It's what we enjoy doing. And I've been approached a few times like you have, like, "All right, I'm in some other location, not in front of you. How do you get served?" And I didn't put enough effort into it until I realized after we had to close our gyms on Monday. And then I was like, "Oh shit, we need to get this. These people need help. I'm temporarily frustrated, but they are also frustrated, and we need to serve their needs. So fucking double down some coffee and we'll figure this out."
Yeah. And what's been so amazing up here with our community, I see like gyms, there's kind of like 2 realms, right? There's the realm of people owners that look at human beings as dollar bills, right? So how many fucking dollar bills can we get to come into our doors every day, right? The Fuel House, via Molly's leadership and just us coaches in general, our moral set is we look at people as people that can potentially pay us dollar bills by treating them very well with a huge amount of respect by so these people, we've always allowed people to put their memberships on hold if needed because of travel, because of things, right? Well, pretty much everybody during this time has kept their membership going, even though they can't come in. And you know, and that's built off of community, right? You know, so, you know, that's why we're doing our best to provide live workouts and doing all these things because they have stood by us. I mean, we've had people offer to pay someone else's membership that had to cancel because they are a tech worker. And that's the thing with Seattle, you know, there's a lot of people that are not working, but they're still making their same salary because they work at home.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. So these people are offering to take charge of somebody else's restaurant owner's membership or something so the Fuel House can stay afloat while that person is having to save some money. I mean, it's just been amazing.
Oh, I have goosebumps for you, Jeff. Like literal
Oh, dude.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
for you.
I've had students that have reached out and they're like, hey man, I'll just buy another 10 pack of stuff. Right. I mean, I know
Sweet.
I got 10 coming, but just charge me, have that there for the rainy day fund as we get through this. And, I've had a few that this has been the hard part is someone pays for me to have that one-on-one
Hmm.
in-person training. So they buy packages to do this. They come in, we train. But a few of these have said, hey, screw it, man. We'll just get on FaceTime or Zoom. I'll
Hmm.
pay you the same amount of money that I would give you in person just to sit and shoot the shit with you and train and support you in this time of need, So it's
So
just,
beautiful.
I mean, oh yeah, bro.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy for you. You know what? You're the fourth person I've talked to in the last week, fitness professional wise, who has faced this situation, as most
Mm-hmm.
all of us will very soon.
Yes.
And I think each one of us has been like humbled and lump in the throat, grateful.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
nonstop,
amazing.
nonstop.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people too, I'm an introvert by nature, so I was kind of looking forward to being
Mm-hmm.
shut in with my wife and my dogs. But I'm
Yeah.
realizing how much
Yeah.
interaction is so important, and
Yeah.
how much other people need it too. And
Right.
Zoom, thank God for Zoom. I
Yeah. Yeah.
started doing that at Doc Cardle's request for a podcast. Oh yeah,
Doc.
Doc, there is Team Hartle right there.
Oh, I love that guy. Love that guy.
He's such a fun guy. Honestly, I love Metallica and death metal for a very long time. I had
Oh,
long hair and a
yeah. Forget
motorcycle,
about
and I was like, oh, they're the best, right? And then I tabled it and I went to like DJing and stuff. And then, of course, I'm doing the SF, did the SFG for the third time with him and Fabio, and then the SFL, and it was just
Yes.
nonstop Metallica. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, it was so good. Golden Age Metallica. So yeah,
Amen.
I love
It's
Doc.
always there for you. It's always there for you.
It is. It totally is. I was talking with Pat Flynn 2 podcasts ago, and we had the exact same SG guitar, and we were jamming on some old Metallica riffs and sharing it back and forth. And it's just cool
Nice.
to see people in the community who, like, it's easy to put somebody like yourself or Pat or Eric Frohart on this big pedestal, and because it's well deserved, right? But then the reality is we're all in this together. We're all people, just
Oh,
trying our
yeah.
best to do our best and serve our friends and colleagues.
That's it, man. And it's like a perfect opportunity to embrace a leader role. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'll tell you, I have battled depression, anxiety, these things for as long as I can remember, right? I mean,
Yes.
even as a child, I mean, it's always been a part of me in one way or another. So it would be really easy for me just to, whoa,
Oh
just
yeah.
to freak out, But
Mm-hmm.
in this era of like podcasting and all these types of things, it's like the way I look at it, if you don't have a coach in your life because you can't afford it, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because there's coaches out there all over
Yeah.
ready to just give you free information on podcasts and all that stuff, So
Mm-hmm.
listening to guys like Jocko and these
Oh
guys,
yeah.
of just like, hey man, just clutch up, be a leader, don't panic, try not to panic around your friends, your family, your clients, always be that, that staple of strength and that,
Mm-hmm.
so that's been kind of my goal, even though, I have my times, I ain't gonna lie. You can talk to my team where I go freak
Oh
out a
yeah.
little bit, but yeah, it's a hell of a time to embrace your role as a leader
It,
in your family, in your community, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. Well said, Jeff. And to your point too, I've battled depression and drug abuse and anxiety and insomnia and all kinds of stuff, right? And Pat and I had a really good discussion about this yesterday. We talked with Matthew last week about it when we text you on that Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah,
And, I think through music and through exercise, through fitness and strength training really saved my life. I can say that. Exactly, right? And I think, yeah, happy to talk about that in more detail. And then I don't want to give you too much like negativity, but I lost my entire family at one point in time. I was a caretaker for each one of them, and each one of those gave me a silver lining opportunity to realize we're in this one shot. Make it count.
yeah.
My brother died of a heart attack. I'm like, I can go into fitness and help people. My sister went blind and paralyzed with terminal brain cancer. I'm like, I can create more content and write a book, and we can serve more people, help more people. And so it makes you more grateful, right?
Amen, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Amen.
Exactly. It makes you way more grateful.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think suffering brings empathy and compassion and motivation.
most definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I know that. I think that maybe perhaps one of the reasons that I do have a decent following in the social media stuff is that I'm semi-relatable.
Yeah.
I don't just share butterflies and
Mm-hmm.
sunshine and rainbows. I talk about, which was really hard at first to do that, but to talk about depression and talk about my weaknesses and all that type of stuff. And I get a lot of people that reach out privately that are like, bro, man, I know it was just a simple little meme that you posted about depression or something, but man, it really hit me. And I just want to reach out to tell you. So that's important to do, I mean, it's important to share. I mean, where I was raised and probably with you, the last thing you do is talk about a weakness or admit, if you're, if you hurt yourself and, if you cry, you go out of sight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or, you don't let nobody see you showing any weakness, and that's pretty much how I was raised, and so to be vulnerable in my older years has been, transformational. I'd probably still be bitter, pissed off, and ready to, jump off a bridge if I didn't open up and start being vulnerable and start facing this shit as reality instead of just holding it in. I don't know.
Well said. And from a leader standpoint too, it is so key. Like when I started becoming more vocal about my depression and my, battling my, I don't say demons, but accepting the things I couldn't control, right? And making peace with it. Like you said, people reached out and I don't want to say became like leader in that respect, but become a leader, somebody to go to. Like,
absolutely.
And I'm so flattered. Like this last Christmas, my wife, I put her to bed and we saw her side of the family. And I was replying to a friend in Australia who's facing, putting his father on hospice. And I had to do that about a year and a half ago. I did hospice 3 times with my family members and I went through a process and I'm open about it. So I want to say, hey, you're not alone in this process.
Yes.
Make sure you take care of yourself. You may drink a lot tonight. That's fine. But in the morning, just go for a long walk with your dog or whatever, and just take care of yourself. And, just trying to be a resource. So not totally alone.
Oh, absolutely. Well, absolutely. Right. And then like when people see what they perceive as a well-adjusted, strong man that's out enjoying the mountain. And then when they hear that you came from that or dealt with that and are still doing this, it's, it's like a bright light at the end of the tunnel, right? If people don't hear that or see that from somebody, maybe they'll never see that light at the end of the tunnel. But by you being vulnerable, by me being vulnerable, by someone on a Jocko podcast, these hardcore Eric Frohart types, tip of the spear badasses, and these guys are starting to open up in these things like this, and it's just huge.
It is.
I mean, it's absolutely huge.
Well, again, I have goosebumps for like the last 5 minutes of this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome. It's so key, like to be like a strong, like you're a huge, strong man, and you're a beast, and it's so cool to be like vulnerable, like there is gooey insides of love and empathy, and it helps bring people in even closer.
Amen.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. And to Eric, cheers to Eric. Like I was saying before we chatted, he's going to probably jump on, I think, Friday or Monday and chat and stuff.
Outstanding.
He's
awesome.
Such a stud. I mean, how I even came into the StrongFirst world in the first place, it's so oblivious and goofy. You're going to laugh at this. So I was training a mutual friend of ours. Her name was Karen. And she's like, you would like my friend Eric. He likes to get outside and hike like you do. And he likes kettlebells a lot. You should email him. So I blindly emailed Eric Frohart at that time, the CEO of StrongFirst.
Oh, so it was when he was, nice.
I was like, hey, guy, do you like to go for hikes? You want to get a coffee? And I meet up with him, and we meet at this the tech center of Denver, and everybody's in suits. And I used to work in a law firm, and my wife works in that law firm now. And I used to wear nicer clothes, and this is how I dress now, and I love it, right? So I go into a Starbucks, and everybody's in their suits, and I'm like, I'm really out of place. And the only person hairier than me, the beanie on, was Eric.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
Yeah, then we hit it off. And he's like, you should really attend this StrongFirst one-day kettlebell seminar with Mark Snow. And we hit it off.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. And then I was like, I'm in love with this culture, the language, the coaching, the leadership. And then I signed up for the SFG with Czar Horton, Beastmaster.
Love it.
Oh,
yeah.
so good. And
Czar's kind of like I see as one of my main mentors in this stuff.
That's awesome.
I met Czar when I was still probably around 240 pounds, and the 16 kg was kicking the shit out of me, you know, like way back in it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking to myself, it's like, if I do what it takes to get forearms like that son of a bitch, I'm going to be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, so I set this goal of, not anything else. Like one day I'm going to have forearms like that. God darn Czar Horton. But yeah, him and Andrea Yushi Chang and a few of these were my first introductions into this stuff. So as in martial arts and anything else, you have like a family tree in this type of stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pavel Czar was like right there in the early beginnings. Andrea passed down to me. So I see this lineage as something that's very important to me. And I'll forever look at them guys as my mentors. And now it's just my job to try and do the same.
Well, I think you're fantastic. You're a team leader, right?
I was a team leader. I stepped down from a team leader role not too long ago.
Okay.
Several different reasons.
Sure.
Nothing to no ill will or nothing like that. It was just something that the system I still love. I still teach, and I will continue to. I still have my StrongFirst Elite. It was just getting out to certs and doing all this stuff. I wasn't into that as much.
Yes.
So I shouldn't be taking up a slot for that.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, it was just kind of just to step away a little bit and kind of start doing my own little workshops from time to time and things like that. So
I fully respect
still
that.
Massive amount of love and respect for the community.
Absolutely. And for the listeners out there, I mean, your listeners probably know all about StrongFirst Elite. So StrongFirst Elite, that's SFG, SFB, SFL. Is SFG?
Yeah, so SFG 1 and 2, so both of those, the SFL and the SFB. Yeah, so all of the certs. Yeah,
that's incredible. I mean, that kind of background, you can work with anybody, any
and
ability.
That's just it, right?
Yeah,
that's just it, right? When I got into this stuff, what was I? I was probably already like 35, 36 years old, right? I mean, and I never really had this inkling that I would coach. If I was going to coach anything, it would have been baseball, football, pee-wee stuff, whatever. But, I never went to the local 24-hour fitness and looked at a trainer there and thought to myself, I want to do what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, so like this path was never something that I've thought about, until I found the kettlebell and it just snowballed and things took off. And, I got my first cert. I would have been the HKC. I think it was in 2009, I think. And then my RKC in 2010, or it was my HKC 2010, RKC 2011. They kind of blend together. But yeah, once I went to that, the HKC, and that was just the 1-day course, like the user course that StrongFirst has right now. So basically goblet squat, get up, swing type of situation. And that's when I met Czar and a few different people. And I was like, okay, so this is what a coach does.
Yeah.
It's not at this other gym where I was at. It's this, you know what I mean? It's like, really working with me, manipulating me, looking at, just really breaking everything down. And I was like, I could see myself doing that.
Right.
And that's what inspired me. And then that first RKC weekend in San Diego, Pavel was there, Dan, John, the Snideman, all of them, right? I mean, Johanna, I mean, just it was like a superstar cast, and it was outside in the sunshine back in the double bell days, shirts off. And then,
sounds ideal.
That weekend, I was like, this is what I'm going to be, just like one of those team leaders up there. I'm going to be at this cert. I'm going to be leading a team. This is what I'm going to do. I don't know how or whatever, but this is what I'm going to do. And so I
and you're doing it
hard. Yeah, still doing it somehow.
That's
10
so
years
awesome.
Later, still hustling.
Oh, that's so awesome. So awesome. Well, Dan John, actually, hopefully get a chance to talk to him next week. Obviously, another great superstar in our like a mentor to a lot of us too.
Oh, amazing guy.
This is so cool getting to know your background a little bit. And I can totally empathize. I never wanted to get in health and fitness for bodybuilding or to be a meathead, looking at a clipboard, telling somebody what to do, wearing gloves in the freaking, none of that. No, it's not intriguing.
No.
But like to your point, the minutia of like making sure everything's the right angle, not here, there, and just
that's it, man.
All the little things that make the big difference.
That's it. And I'm just so obsessed with skill, ever since I was little, I think, I mean, I started playing pee-wee football, tackle football when I was 8, which probably explains some of my head issues. And then, playing, I was a catcher from the day that the ball came off the tee, so I've just, and I took those the same way as I took kettlebells, it's like, I might not be the biggest, I might not be the fastest, but if I take this angle, if I do this, if I do that, you know what I mean? I'm going to be better. If I hit them harder than they hit me, I'm never going to get hurt. So, when I get this kettlebells, and I also dig on martial arts, I see kettlebells as the martial arts of weightlifting. I know that's said out there a lot, but,
sure.
it's the skill is what makes you a badass. It's not just moving weight around, yeah. So I can hide a lot of my weaknesses with skill. I'm not strong enough to do a 72 kg get up by brute strength, but I am skillful enough to do it. You know what I mean?
Touche. Yeah. That's well put. Yeah. I mean, it is true. The strength is the skill. And there's so many lines that they use in StrongFirst that are just so simple and effective and universal,
Yeah.
strength has a greater purpose and all these great things.
That's it.
That's beautiful. And also in your background, you have FMS as well. So you're able to really assess somebody and then correctly just put the whole package together.
That's it. Yeah.
Sweet.
I think that every trainer, coach, whatever you want to call us, should have, some type of movement screen type of situation built into their stuff, and that goes both ways too. When that FMS first started coming out, there was some people that would use the FMS in conjunction with strengths. Then there was others that would just corrective people to death for the rest of their life and never let them move again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, neurotic.
So that's it, right? So they just did fucking wood choppers every day for 8 hours a day. But I kind of use it as a balance piece of strength. It's not the end all be all, but it's definitely a way, especially with an initial screen, to give me an idea how a human being is moving and functioning. So I find a massive amount of value in that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I really enjoy the FMS as well. But like you said, it's not the be all end all. These are all tools in our toolkit, right? And you get to make it your style, and like I did the IKFF, and there's some cool things I learned in there that I apply sometimes, like the double, triple breath sometimes, but I wouldn't do it for everybody. It's just nuances and just different people, different things.
Absolutely. Not wrong, not right, just different.
Just different. Nice to have variety.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Yeah. Beautiful stuff. Well, so what do you enjoy doing for yourself outside the gym?
My happy place is the mountains, hiking. And it's different now. Like hiking old days was, here's trail, here's end of trail. I don't give a shit if there's a waterfall in between. Let's just go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hiking today for me is so different. It's stop, hug a tree, smell a flower, take a seat on a rock for a minute and just fucking breathe. My first route out of depression and stuff, I think, was the kettlebell and, and finding something that I got obsessed with getting good at. And through that obsession of getting good at it, I got fitter. I lost weight. I started moving better. My confidence got better, got back into karate or Kaju Kembo technically, and all that stuff, but now that transitioned into a job. So I still love doing it all and all that stuff, but it doesn't bring me the same amount of therapy, I would say. It still does, no question. But so the hiking and all that stuff, that's more of the, sitting with a shrink instead of being in an office, being out in the woods and just being out there. Like last year I tried to do 52 hikes from Christmas to Christmas. So I was just trying to get out there more.
That's awesome. I never thought of putting that way. And Jeff, I can relate so fucking much to what you just said. Like I literally left a corporate job to spend time in the mountains. Right. And I based my life around training people to get outside. And then my other job, Engearment, is doing reviews for gear for like North Face and Patagonia before stuff comes out. And I have to go to the mountains to do that. So before we're on lockdown right now here in Denver, I knew it was coming on Tuesday. So Monday I went up camping in a blizzard, 10 degrees with my dogs, bunch of vodka. I just stared, and like you said, it's not about getting vertical feet. It's not about getting to top. It's just being out. So I can be on my deck and steer a tree. I'm totally happy.
Yeah. That's it, and I think, recently I've also been trying to it was mostly last year was like the big push for it, but, and I fall off the wagon a lot, but if I could recommend to somebody, like probably in my humble opinion, the most important thing that a human can do, not every human, so I shouldn't say that, but is have some type of like morning routine,
Yes.
So I went on this stretch and a lot of us at the Fuel House, we did it together, but it was wake up right when the alarm went off. It doesn't have to be jocko early, just earlier than you would get up, let's say, right? Shoes are right by the bed, alarm goes off, put shoes on, head directly out the door, rain, snow, or shine, do a 2-mile minimum, walk, jog, run, bike, come back in the house, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 4, 10, 3, 10, 2, 10, 1, 10. So I ended up with, 50 push-ups, 15 pull-ups in that ladder. And the big one is then just sit and freaking meditate for 10 minutes, just meditate, whether it be guided, whether it just be quiet, and through that meditation, it's helped improve being outdoors as well. Because in some of these meditations, they talk about, hey, when you're out there hiking, don't try and look at a tree and just say, is that a Douglas fir? Is just look at the tree. You know what I mean? And just check out its color. Just see what it smells like. You know what I mean? Getting in a morning routine, waking up and getting your heart rate started with a little walk and some maybe push-up, pull-ups, and then just do that meditation and then get into your day, man. I'm trying to get back on that. I go through spurts. But when I'm most squared away mentally is when I personally have a morning routine to follow. But there's a dichotomy to all this stuff. You don't want to have so many things there that if you miss one of them, you start browbeating yourself, because that's not what the morning routine's about.
Right.
So 2 or 3 little things that just sets your day with purpose.
Oh, I love that. That's great advice. I usually try and ask people who I respect what their routines are in the morning. Because structure, I think, is very important. Like you said, with that structure, I think it gives you like some freedom, because you're going to do these things. And they're like, it's a habit. You're going to brush your teeth. If you have dogs, you're going to walk the dog. And for me, like my routine, usually 4:30 up, I have a gratuity journal. I do my best to keep up with that.
Huge.
Yeah. Very big. And it's not very long. It's not hard. Maybe the first 2 or 3 days are hard, because you're like, oh, I can't think of too many things really. But, and whenever I have a friend who's going through some stuff and they ask for advice, I usually buy them that. And I wish
5-minute journal.
The 5-minute journal, man. Exactly. It's the best $20 investment.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always surprised when people don't use it. I think also you probably encounter this. If you give something away for free, people don't always value it. So
that's right.
Yeah. And that's a bummer.
That's right.
You wish people would just be like, hey, this is a gift from me to you. I want to empower you. But they don't always see it that
that's
way.
It. Yeah. That's one of my hardest parts in the fitness industry is Molly is always on my shit, because I give away, if someone travels from out of town and they're like, hey man, I'm coming in from Boston and I'm going to be in Seattle. Like, I can't charge them for an hour session. I just give it to them for free because they're traveling and they're coming. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to walk a little finer line with that, like learning that I got to pay my bills too, and all this stuff. But it always comes in return. Like, this one fella, I won't mention his name because maybe he doesn't want me to, but he visited and I gave him a free hour session, him and his wife. And then a month later in the mail comes some high grade scotch. So
Sweet.
It all came around.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yes. So, but yeah, I know we do got to value ourselves as coaches and as people that, we play a huge piece in the cog of the preventive maintenance side of things, so teachers and coaches should be getting paid a hell of a lot more, because if your coach is doing you right, you're going to be spending a lot less time in healthcare and all these types of things. And, you're just going to, all that stuff. It snowballs if you're out of shape and you're not doing this stuff. So we play a larger role than a lot of people give us credit for.
Right. And you know what? I think because a lot of people might associate a personal trainer with what we talked about 15 minutes ago, that person in the gym with the clipboard going through the motions. But if you find the right person, like a person like yourself, it is a quality of life improvement, and you've made a connection with a real person, and it shows up like it just showed up for you guys. Your community stood by you in your field house, and it shows, right? Because you put out quality. You're so valuable that people can't imagine their life without you.
Yeah.
So
And that's awesome.
You for that.
And if you do that, with a good moral compass, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? I see like out now on the Instagrams and all these things, the moral compass is a little bit twisted for some.
Yes.
But there's still a lot of us out there, like I've been trying, for no other reason, but just to do it, share like a little morning workout for someone that potentially stuck at home could do,
That's beautiful.
Or, whatnot. But I think we could all be doing just a little bit right now to help our fellow humans.
It's true. And you know what? I've been noticing this about this situation we're currently in. We're going to be in it for a while. I think probably longer than we think.
Mm-hmm.
What's been beautiful about it is seeing the camaraderie and empathy a lot of people are showing. I know if you stick to
Mm-hmm.
just the news, it's easy to get stuck. I hate the news, right? If I'm going to get news,
Yeah.
I go to Reuters or BBC or something.
Yeah.
But if you know, get out of that news cycle and you actually look eye to eye to your neighbor or a person just in your vicinity, like,
That's it.
yeah, we're all just trying to do our best and just be kind. And people are stepping up in huge ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I think this whole I don't say suffering, this whole opportunity is going to help bring us closer together. Even doing stuff like this, like your happy
Yeah.
hour. Like today's my wife's
Yeah.
birthday, and so
Oh,
we're
happy
gonna.
birthday.
Thank you. She's around the corner here somewhere. It's funny because she gets to work from home, which is very fortunate. She works in HR,
Mm-hmm.
and so we take turns. Who's going to be loud? I get to be loud for next hour, and then she goes to get to her meeting.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, so you adjust and make the most of everything. But yeah, we're going to have a virtual happy hour with her friends and colleagues here. Actually, by the time you're going to have your meeting with your guys, so
Nice.
it's cool. This technology has really allowed us to make better connections. And my
It
God,
has.
yeah. And I think after this is all said and done, it's going to make us all appreciate all these little things that make life
I
so
hope
beautiful.
so.
I hope so
I hope
too.
so. And I hope our memories last a little bit. You know,
Right.
we're quick to forget when things get good, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope this one, you know, sticks back there a little bit. And, you know, little things like, you know, do you need to rinse out your water cup 10 times before you take a drink? You know, like conserve a little bit, right? Do you
Seriously.
need
Yeah.
a new paper towel every time you walk into the kitchen? Or do you grab one and pull off a corner of it or half of it and, you know, use one paper towel 4 different meals, you know, by
Mm-hmm.
cutting it into 4 squares? You know, I mean, you know, there's that little stuff. Do our portions need to be that big? Do we need to eat like that much? Do we need to waste this much food? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think huge wake up call for me, everybody, you know,
Yeah.
especially that are struggling right now, like a service industry people that are, you know, barely getting by even just a couple weeks into this. How we're learning that, hey, you know, I don't need to have a 6-egg omelet to survive. You know,
Right.
you know, 3 eggs with some nice little veggies will do me just fine. Yeah, you know.
Absolutely. And I like your resourcefulness too. You know, I love leftovers. So I like to go in the fridge and make a pile of shit, basically, and just eat it.
Yes.
And I'm happy as hell with that. But
Yes.
so this whole thing going into it, I'm not a prepper by any means, but I enjoy
Yeah.
sardines. I enjoy canned tuna. You know, I'm pretty low key. And so I was already okay
Yeah.
going into this. And also we
Yeah.
test a lot of gear. I've got enough water filters for our whole complex of neighbors, 100 people. I've got water
That's
purifiers. I
awesome.
got like solar chargers. Like I'm okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Even, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that. But you know, we're all doing our part, stay safe and social distancing, like you said. And it's
Hmm.
kind of tricky because I think being outside for you and me and people we associate with is so important. I help run this backcountry ski and snowboard group. It might be the biggest one in North America. It's like 7,500 members as of today.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's
So we're
awesome.
like you, we're in this position to be leaders.
Yeah.
And I had to make a stand today, or actually yesterday, saying I'm not going to go recreate in the mountains because the proximity to other people is, I
Hmm.
can't guarantee distancing. 2,
Hmm.
going into smaller communities, like imagine going to your ski resorts, they don't have the medical capacity to deal with the situation. And 3, if a person were to be in the vicinity of us in a bad country and make a bad decision, they're going to put search and rescue in harm's way. And again,
That's
endanger
it.
more people, more resources. So I had
That's
to
it.
say, yeah, I'm going to take a break from my favorite thing in the world, backcountry skiing and snowboarding and camping. And I'm going to spend time playing guitar, reading, doing more podcasts with great people like you.
Yeah.
So when it does come around, you're going to appreciate it even more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Washington, we just officially, as of the other day, hit the stay at home order.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, and hopefully, you know, we've learned as a nation with this too, is if something like this happens, I'd rather just get kicked in the nuts right in the beginning and
mm-hmm.
just say, everything is shut down, 14 days, don't leave your friggin' house. You know, I
Yes.
mean, in hindsight, you know, but instead of just kind of playing it along and let's see how this works and let's see if we can trust people not to be idiots. Like
We
here in
can't.
Seattle, you know, like people are playing touch football and volleyball down at Alki Beach. And, you know, it's like, what the fuck are
They
you
don't
doing?
get it. Oh.
They don't get it, right? You know, so
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, because this stuff, you know, it's not good. I mean, yes, it's been a while, but I could see this stuff happening a little more often than not the way things are going these days, you know. So
Absolutely.
it's like, you know, this stuff happens again, man. Just lock yourself down, you know, have
Yeah.
14 to 30 days worth of stuff ready and just don't leave your house. That's the only way to completely stop this thing, apparently, is
Yeah.
just not be in contact with other people, you know.
Yeah. It's so true. And I think the general preparedness of those supplies goes along with how we also, at least how I like to train, general preparedness. Like I was on a hike,
Yeah, that's
well,
it.
a ruck with Eric Frohart, and he's got like 50 pounds of dumbbells in his backpack, and he's got his
Oh,
heart rate monitor on, and we're doing heart rate
oh yeah,
variability. He's such a badass. And
he is.
I was like, he's like, Sean, what are you training for? I'm like, for life. He's like,
Yeah.
not like snatch tests or like breaking any records. I'm like, no, I just want my
Hell
knees
no.
to feel good. Honest, I want to be able to handle helping my friend. Yeah,
Amen.
just life, right?
Amen.
And
Oh
so
yeah.
we stopped for a second, and because he's a very high achiever, right? And
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, Navy SEAL,
Yeah. Top of the spear, dude.
yeah, top of
Dev
the
group
spear,
Navy SEAL. You know, the bad as it gets.
yeah, Purple Heart recipient, national treasure.
Oh yeah.
Dude's
Stud.
badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, training for life, and also general
No, that's my
preparedness for life.
mindset too. I love that. I
Cool.
love that. If I only had one spot left on my training book, and if two people came in and one was like, hey, you know, I'll buy 30 sessions from you right now, and I want to be a bikini model, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. That's a good investment.
Yeah.
But another person walks in and says, hey man, I could commit to 10, but I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and do whatever comes at me. I'm
Yes.
taking that guy
I love it.
every day. Every day.
Damn right.
Every day. I'll
Yeah.
take one third of the pay and work with somebody that has that mindset. I'm not into this game for any other shit, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, I just train everyday athletes, right? You know, people don't come to me to win the Olympics. You know, I'm not into that. I'll send them somewhere else. I'll send them to Eric Cressy or somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
me, I just want to train, you know, guys like us,
That's
women
so
like
awesome,
us,
Jeff.
you know, people that just are just like, hey man, you know, I want to wake up, and if someone says, let's go snowboarding, I may have to get new snowboard boots, but my body's not going to be in a condition that I have to wait a month to get in shape enough to go freaking snowboarding.
Damn
Or,
right.
you know,
Oh,
amen.
I'd love to hear that. And it's true, because these are your people. You might go do that thing with them. I can't tell you any people I
Yes.
train. They're like, I want to go backcountry skiing. I'm like, let's train for it. When we go do it, then we go have a burger and some beers. And I mean, that's a
Boom.
really high quality life right there, my friend.
Boom.
Yeah,
The best trophy ever. You know,
exactly.
hard day in the mountains and come back and have a Chicago style pizza and a beer, you know,
Oh, I'm
that's the
into it.
trophy.
I'm so into it. Oh, Jeff, I really appreciate your honesty, your directness, your kindness, your leadership. You're just a freaking awesome person. Um, I know you got to run for another meeting. My time's your time. I know we're going to have a lot more downtime. So if you want to jump on in the future, be happy to have you on again.
Hit me up anytime, man. You're my type of people. And
Glad
and
to
I'm
hear that.
sure that, you know, our followers, whatever you want to call them, are probably going to jive on this conversation
Oh
because we're
yeah.
similar. You know
I'm
what I
thinking
mean?
so.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, anytime that you want to shoot the shit, just hit me up.
Oh, I love it, man. Well, Jeff, all the best to you and Fuel House and all your people. Cheers to you, Solange, for your scotch. And I will hopefully talk to you sooner than later, my friend.
Cheers,
Awesome.
my friend. Stay strong.
You too. Take care.